Welcome to Amateur Redneck Workshop. I'm Harold, and we're continuing on with making the ball turning attachment for the lathe, and I don't know how much more it'll take to finish it, but I'll keep showing up with another installment, one after the other, until we get it done. Looking at that surface right there, I would say that roughing end mill made a really nasty cut, so I'm going to put the nice smooth carbide end mill on there, and I'm going to smooth it out. I didn't have any particular specification for how wide that piece should be, so this will guarantee it's straight and square with the slot, and it'll look a whole lot better too. This cleanup cut will make sure that the thing didn't rotate any on me in the clamp when I was cutting this side piece, and it'll make it guaranteed straight with the center, and it'll make it look a lot nicer. Move it over and clean off that burr on the edge there. No, it's got a little spot right there where it's got a deep cut. So I guess we need to take care of that. We'll go down another 10 or so. I'll bring you guys back when I made the last little clean spot. Alright, I've got it ready to be marked off for the holes for the grub screws, and now I've got to do a lot of thinking, and some of it probably won't be any good, whether I want 3 screws on there or 4. So I'm going to put you to sleep while I try to think. I may fall asleep too, you never know. So I decided what I wanted was 4 grub screws. And I've got them marked off there, drilled in with a center drill so that they will stay exactly where I need them to be. And now we're going to just drill the holes in there. Move this out of the way. I'm going to put in a quarter 28 grub screw. I don't know if it'll fit itself all the way in there or not. Power tapping on stainless could be kind of dangerous, but well, I guess we can always see. Now, this thing doesn't reverse. So I'm going to have to back it out of there with a wrench. I got it all the way in too. Good thing I stopped when I did. I have a wrench here somewhere. thought that tap would probably power tap just fine, and it did. Alright, so there's going to be 3 more just like that. Drill it, tap it, drill it, and tap it. So you take a little nap while I do that. Alright, 4 holes, threaded, piece down the middle done. Of course you can see there's huge burrs down in there that have got to come out. So this piece is getting closer and closer to finished. I'm pretty sure I'm going to come in at 3 different spots and put grub screws in the bottom to make sure it stays on the mount. I'm not sure really that I need it. I may try it first before I even do that, but there still has to be a hole in here to put the handle to swing it back and forth. If that turns out to be the last thing that's left, then we could conceivably finish this tomorrow, because, well, we still got to get the height right on this guy. He just barely fits in there. Let me sit here. Anyway, he fits, but he won't go with all those burrs. Anyway, we got to get the height right here. I want to cut a taper on here and make a tool mount on the top here. So it's conceivable we could finish tomorrow, but I figure 2 more days anyway. And it's 8 o'clock and I'm pooped, and I'm going to go in and watch videos or something. Well, the time has come for me to hurry up and get this done so I can move outside and start doing things like you know, cutting down the 2 trees that I got to go, and I've got some trim to replace on the house, and a million and one things. So I need to hurry up and finish this up so I can get outside. The weather's down into the low to mid 80s most of the time now. Last week we had low 90s, and I think we've seen most of the end of the 90s. So the time has come to do otherwise. Start planning the outside work. And I'm going to use that little guy there to draw me a line where the center is of everything, so that I know how far up against things that I need to be. And I think that'll help me more than anything in measuring it. But I guess I'm glad to see the mild weather arrive, because the heat and humidity last week was horrible. It was in the low 90s, but the humidity was about the same number as the temperature number, and that makes things miserable as everything. Alright, here we go. I think this is the last side. There. No matter how I lay it, I'm going to be able to see where the line's at now. And you can see, of course I'll probably keep these things on this side when I'm using it and turning this around, and the handle will go in here somewhere. So let's go ahead and get on with making this piece right here. Get it out of the way, and once I've done that, then we can mount a tool bit on it and put the handle in here. I'm not sure if I need any little pins to go in there to keep this thing down, because it's good and tight like it is, and all the pressure is going to be down against it. So I may wait until I see some reason for it before I put any pins in there to hold it down. Alright, back to the saw to cut this off a little shorter, and then on to the mill to cut the height off right. Well, I've determined that the screws that hold my current inserts down are 4mm by 0.70 pitch, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a fairly deep hole and thread it, and then we'll cut this thing down to size. And while I'm cutting it down, I'll be able to mount the actual insert on there and see that it fits right, you know. That way I don't have to worry about getting the wrong dimensions anywhere. So what we're going to do here is we'll just drill us a little hole. I'm going to start out with this little tiny center drill to get things started, and then I'll get the real deal. It seems a 1/8 is what it says on the tap to use, so that's what we're going to do. And it'll take me a little bit to get this thing lined up. Of that I'm sure. Well, that kind of just sort of fell into place, so we'll go with that. That's pretty far down. The little screw I'm using is not even a 1/2 inch long, so let me measure and we'll see. Right there, it's even with it. 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 750 thousandths deep. Chances are that's plenty. Alright, I'll get the tap and we'll get the little dingus here and try to line it up. Alright. Flooded it over there with thread cutting oil, which was a mistake, but what the hey, it's done now. I'm not sure I really like this. I may move to the drill press and the other vise so that I can use my little thread positioning thing. I'm not sure. While I think about it, I'll let you sleep again. Okay, the hole is tapped. I didn't break the tap, I didn't break the drill, I didn't break anything. I'm really happy about that. So now I'm going to cut this guy off to match up with the little mark that I put on it earlier. And it's really near to there. We'll cut it down to that and then take a second excuse me, take a second measurement on the little carbide insert and see how much more I've got to go past that. That seems to be right on top of my layout line, so I'll let you sleep a minute while I go and measure that insert again. Alright, so the insert is 0.161 in thickness, so I guess I'll go down 50 thousandths from here. It's getting closer to the right height. So I guess that right here would probably be good for me to go ahead and square off this piece and then go over there and try it out. I'll have to hook up a stop here so that I can put it exactly back where it was. and we'll do that. Alright, now I'm not sure whether this thing's is going to focus or not, but if you look there, you can see that the center is just about halfway up that tool holder. So I'm going to have to take just a little bit more off of it, and I will try to measure that with my scale there, and we'll get an idea of what the difference is. So back to the mill. If I were to say that's pretty well dead on, and I don't know if I would get any objections from the crowd or not, but that looks to me like that's pretty well dead center. If it turns out to be the tiniest little bit too tall, I can take a file and just knock off a few thousandths, but I think that feels to me like it's exactly the height of that center. So we don't have a lot left to do now. I've got to cut this thing down to a triangle shape, just like the tool bit, and then I've got to put a handle in here, and then I'll be pretty well ready to try it out, I guess. I've also got to deburr that stupid slot where I've screwed the screws into there, because they make it hard getting that piece in and out. So there's a few more little touches, but we're almost finished.
Well, Ole and Sven, a couple of old retired Norwegian boys, was living at the retired Norwegian home there in North Minnesota. And one day they're sitting out there, out in the patio on a couple of rockers, watching the sun coming up and going down and stuff like that. And Lena had to look around the corner, and she saw them, sitting there talking. She decided to play a joke on them. So she took off all her clothes, come run right past them, and Ole says, Sven, he says, was that Lena? And Sven says, well, yeah, I think so. Ole says, well, Sven, what was she wearing? Sven says, I don't know, but it sure needed ironing.
Well, that's all, folks. Y'all try to subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Leave a comment if you got something to say. And above all, remember, keep on keeping on. Bye now.